DJ House Paint, sound kind of special.
Yeah.
DJ House tem Sanducano Special.
Again, folks, Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio have for me tonight, the legend himself, Mr. Benedict Wiese Nyankon, who is the chief here. But we're trying to put the equipment together. We're running a little bit late here, but just bear with us. Is Ben, the speaker that having my sound, is that coming from the phone or the other phone? Okay, all right. Then okay. If that's the case, then just take it from speaker because I'm getting echo from your background. Okay, much better, much better. Okay, I hope that we're not going to be here that long. We just want to talk to you about a few other things here. We want to thank you very much. We're very, 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 very late, folks. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. We're really late here this evening, having with us here Mr. Benedict Wiese, who is also a member of the Liberian community here in the United States. And we just thought we want to have him. I'm going to convince him again to bring him on again later on to talk to him because the setup here tonight is not that great. And I'm hoping that he will see reason to come and join us another time. But Mr. Wiese, now that we have you, okay, now that we have, can you hear me? Hello? Okay, you got to speak into the phone now. Can you hear me? Okay, the sound, the audio of the phone is not that great. Can you hear me? Okay, folks, we're having some audio issue here. Mr. Wiese, can you hear me? Okay, all right. So if you can, let me see. Okay, I think I'm the one. Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you clearly.
Okay, all right. You can go ahead and put the phone down. I think the fault was from my side. I had so many things. You can just put the phone on. Can you hear me now? Let's hear you talk a little bit.
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, you can just sit back and relax. I think your voice is loud enough through the phone. Okay, thank you very much for joining us. I know we're very late here tonight. I before coming on, I was playing some video and pictures and things. I just want to talk to you briefly about Liberian football because you, as a legend, seriously, there's some serious ball playing in Liberia, and I want to talk to you about that. But before that, before we go into the pleasure side of it, I know very shortly here you guys going to be hosting a program to honor another bigger legend than any other legend alive. My opinion, folks. And so, what can you tell us about that program that is coming up, sir?
Well, the program is to honor Coach Josiah N. Johnson, commonly known to the Liberian public as JNJ, for his lifetime contributions to Liberian football. This program will be held over the Labor Day weekend from August 30th, which is on Friday, and then the 31st Saturday will be the meal program, and then on Sunday the 1st of September we have a cookout and an exhibition all-star game. We decided to bring Coach Johnson to the United States for this honor because most of the players who play honor him. He was not just a coach, but he was both a coach, a father figure to many of us. And having played football also, he didn't just walk away from football, from Liberian football. He became a coach of the national team. He coached Barrow. He coached the University of Liberia. He coached high schools in LIBERIA, and many other things that he coached. So because of that, we believe that this man has catapulted himself to the level that in any discussion of Liberian football, it cannot be complete without mentioning his name. He made sacrifices. He committed himself to all the inconveniences that coaching an African team, especially the team from Liberia, with no significant government support, was able to keep a group of players together. And then he went on to win a national, international trophy, the Six Nation Trophy in 1979. So also it has not been done in the history of our country. We came to the decision inspired by the fact that in Liberia, only those who serve in government are the only ones who people believe contribute to the national life of the country. But we see it the other way, that is, ordinary people also make significant contributions to the national life of the country. So because of this, we decided to bring him to the United States. I managed to convince some of my colleagues, former colleagues, for us to have this program. And in Newark, New Jersey, the Labor Day weekend, and the entrance is $25.
I see. So is that an organization that you guys have that was able to bring him over? It was an individual effort with collaboration with some of your old colleagues, as you stated.
No, there is not a permanent organization. It is just a temporary organization that brought together committed players, few players who have like-minded players who decided to have this program. Discussions is going on. We are having discussions as to whether or not this should become a permanent thing for us to do, honoring some of the great players that Liberia has produced over the years in football and in basketball and any other sports.
I see. Well, that would be a wonderful thing to have. Now, let me ask you this: we're talking sport here tonight, sir, and in this organization stuff that you guys are putting together, where is despite the fact, and I'm not talking about him being the president, I want you to address me in respect when I'm talking about George Weah, and I've said George Weah tonight because I'm speaking about sport. Where does he stand with this organization? If this, I don't want us to connect it to politics here, but I want us to talk about it from a sport perspective, and him being one of the bigger athlete that came out of the soil of Monrovia. Where does he stand on this?
Initially, we have sought the assistance of the government through the Liberian Minister of Youth and Sports to provide some assistance for Mr. Johnson to come to the States. But the Minister of Youth and Sports, Mr. Zoka Wilson, said that Mr. Johnson is a private citizen.
I see.
Therefore, the company, he is a private citizen and he's not the responsibility of the Liberian government.
Wow.
So any effort to honor him, to bring him to the United States and honor him, should be the responsibility of private citizens. So the Liberian government has nothing to do with this effort. They did not play that role, and they will not play that role. And we are satisfied that we have been able thus far to successfully manage to get Mr. Johnson here, and the program is going to go on. So the president of Liberia has nothing to do with it. The Ministry of Youth and Sports has nothing to do with it because they never play any role, whether elementary role or any kind of significant role.
Then let me push you a little bit on this. I mean, perhaps you might not, you most likely don't have the answer, but I will push it anyway. So does it seem like the government of Liberia, and I hate to tie this thing to the government point here, but the fact that he's a former coach of Lone Star, which is a government entity, are you saying that those that are serving now perhaps don't have idea that he won't serve as a coach for Lone Star?
No, they are aware of it. I don't think there's any member of any generations in Liberia, even 20 years old kids, know that Mr. Johnson was a national team player and coach. If you look at Liberia now, if you look at former players, perhaps he is the only one who every generation has recognized to be the godfather of Liberian football. So those who are in government right now, including the minister and some other prominent figures, they play honor him. He coached them. And so there is no way that they are not aware of his contribution to Liberian football.
I see. Okay, we're not going to dwell on the Liberian lack of support in its endeavors. I think in a way, okay, if they're saying private citizens organizing this and therefore the government has no role to play, which is understandable, that's fine. But I just thought perhaps they could have given some sort of a letter of recognition, the fact that former coach is now being recognized by former players and former athletes of Liberia to recognize one of the great, and I thought perhaps they would have come out here and explain to me to say, yes, the government didn't do X, Y, and Z, but they have given us a letter of recognition, some which that perhaps we might be able to read during the night of the occasion, but it seemed like the government has completely washed their hand out of it, and that's okay. That's okay. They got a lot of things going anyway. But let me ask you this: Josiah Johnson played for Barrow, didn't he, or I?
He played for Barrow.
Oh, that's my man. Oh yeah. Let me do something here tonight, folks. Can you see my jersey on me? You IE people. Hey, you play for IE too, right? You play for IE, right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Right now, Yeah, yeah. Well, you and myself going to go at that. I want little on, but on a very brief. So I'm just showing my support here. I am a Barrow man, but I've talked to you guys about that before. But on a very serious note, then, first of all, I want to thank you again for coming on. The program itself, what besides honoring Coach Johnson, Godfather Johnson, what are some of the things that you're hoping to achieve that night?
Well, we hope to raise sufficient revenues to the extent that we will be able to provide some assistance to some of the former players in Liberia who are falling on serious hard time. Some who need financial assistance to go to hospital. Some who need financial assistance to pay for where they live, maybe for a few months. And also there are other things that we are looking at. But those decisions will be made. What I just mentioned to you are things that we have already considered and have made decision about. And there are other things that have been considered also. And when the time comes, we'll be able to do that.
I see. Well, I hope that our brothers and sisters that are listening, this has nothing to do with politics, folks. We just thought the fact that the Godfather himself, Coach Lone Star, played for Liberian team for a long time and brought joy to many of our fathers, our uncles, and what have you. And so because I didn't see him play, so that was a very sad one. But anyway, I saw my own Barrow guy there, so I am very pleased to see these guys. Tietois. But anyway, you and I are going to talk about those on a little date. This program is going to be held in New Jersey. You say what is the time again? You say?
August 31st, 2019, in Newark, New Jersey.
Newark, New Jersey. Is there any contact number that people who perhaps want to don't have the chance to come, but perhaps want to do some sort of a contribution that they can provide that?
Yeah, they can call me at 917-907-4124.
Okay, can you say that again? Let me put that down so that folks 917
907.
Oh, the first three numbers is 907, right?
No, 917.
Okay, 917
907.
Okay, 907. Why is it
4124.
Okay, 917-907-4124. 4124. Okay. Something.
And also the information about
hold on, Ben. My mind is not quite correct tonight. I'm not too sure what is it. 41424, right? 4124.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So that's the number, folks. All right, go ahead, Ben. Carry on your statement.
And also, I have been putting the we have been putting the information on Facebook.
Okay.
As to how people want to make contributions to us. We have received contribution, for example, from Harvard Community College, Hippopotamus Football Academy.
I see. Okay.
Made contributions. There are other people in Liberia who have made contributions, financial contribution to the effort. And ordinary Liberians here, so young people who have decided to offer their support to this effort.
Okay. Give us this.
Probably have responded well.
Okay.
But the information I have my cell phone right now, but I don't have access to the other telephone numbers that I could provide for people to call, make their contributions.
Well,
but,
we got your number down here. If anything, they will contact you. That's for sure. Okay. Somebody just put your number out there. Focus on Liberia. Okay. So they have your number. Okay. But can you give us a setting at what the night gonna look like? Program wise, and what do you envision? What people that might not be there, what you think they might be able to see, the smell, the sight, and what can you describe to us here this evening? Because here's the reason why I'm asking this question. Because not only do you play football, but you know book too. You know plenty book. So I'm not afraid of you telling me how to what I'm saying here. You know plenty book, plenty book. Even for football player to know that kind of book is just too much. But anyway, let's go ahead. What can you tell us, the sight, the smell, and what are some of the things that perhaps those who are going to be there might experience?
Well, I believe it will look, in my imagination, it will look like an atmosphere after the football game.
Wow. Wait. Let me push you a little bit. After the football game at Anthony Tottenham Stadium or after the football game at SKD SKD Stadium? Which one?
I would say Anthony Tottenham Stadium.
Oh my goodness! And you hear the football ball creaking, people walking, Santa Maria then walking on the sidewalk. Mom who's out there walking on the sidewalk, and you hear the clicky. Oh my goodness! You're throwing me back again this evening. Wow. Okay, folks, that's going to be exciting because after the game, let me just give you a little bit because I used to be growing up. Somebody around the field, but after the game, you get outside where the player come in, then you start seeing people. Oh yeah, they people fire you. You are not even referee, but they say they fired him, man. That's the kind of excitement I'm talking about. But anyway, go ahead, man. I'm so excited right now. I just don't know how to contain myself. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I can imagine that people who will come there will be interested to speak to former players about certain things that they remember from certain games, and to ask them questions, and individuals or private discussions will be going on. The coach will speak, obviously. Just a minute, please.
Yeah, go ahead. That's okay. Folks, live TV here, so when we're truly in somebody's privacy, so you have to understand that. So this is not a studio visit where he asking to join us at his private home. So being on LeBron Public Radio does not negate the fact that he's a family person. So go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so we expect, I can imagine that it will be the rebirth of the argument between IE and Barrow fans, fans. Maybe discussion about very important games that were played. For example, who owns the land game.
But of course, Barrow owns everything, so I'm not going to dispute that. Barrow is the team, and so if you're Yellow Boy, please excuse yourself because Yellow Boys do not have a plate on this platform that we're going to be talking. No, I'm just kidding. Everybody, you're welcome to it. You're welcome to it. And they're saying, somebody is telling you that you got to lower the camera a little bit, bring it down a little bit because the only thing I can see now is top of your head almost. Okay, all right, much better. If you can do a little bit more, folks. This is Samson to live broadcast. Okay, right there, you're fine. You're good. Okay. All right. So the atmosphere, as you're talking about, where the engagement of the fans of Barrow and IE and Batman, St. Joseph, everybody going to be there and they want to know who the greatest football player will be. For me, I would like to take you to, I believe it was Barrow and the team from Zaire when, what's his name? What's this Kofi Bruce. Why am I forgetting my best player? Kofi Bruce took this guy from Zaire, the number 5, took into the stadium wing and demonstrated the capacity of Liberian's player, the ability to play with that little thing, and he demonstrated that. So that's my own stuff. And one other thing that I have in mind, even though I'm not an IE fan, I really don't particularly care about IE and what have you. But I do admire some of the players. Santo Marias come to mind. Mama Musa come to mind. And so because I watched you at one time, and your dribbling ability sometimes amaze me. And people like Agre, this is a young man. Even before the football business up in Europe, you have midfield controlling. It was through Agre, I would say, because when the ball comes to Agre, he doesn't look at the ball. He looks around as he stands on the ball. And if you rush him, he will embarrass you. He'll get you okra. So you can't rush him. But he looks around. Those are the kinds of things that I remember you guys very well. So I hope that kinds of conversation were happy as well. So let me then ask you this. With those kinds of things that you just said right now, you see, I can't even shut up now. I'm so excited. But with those kinds of things, with the coach and those of you that have studied Liberian football, is there going to be some sort of a recognition that Liberian football, for some reason, is not moving as it's supposed to be, and perhaps try to find some means, some way that perhaps some of you can contribute your ideas of what you think needed in our country for the football to move forward?
Well, I don't think there's any kind of particular major one that anybody can wave to direct Liberian football into the world of success. I think we have to ask our people to be patient, to build a football team, a basketball team, or any kind of sporting team. You need patience. You need a long-term plan. You just don't get up today, put a team together, and tomorrow you expect to win a World Cup. No, it is not going to work like that. But it is left with the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the Liberian Football Association, as well as with the Liberian Basketball Association, to actually come up with a plan. Perhaps 5 years, a 5-year plan, or even a 10-year plan. Find a coach, find administrators, find technicians, technical people to come up with a plan. Try to decentralize sporting activities in Liberia so that people living in rural areas will be able to also try to become players, because we don't know anybody in the rural areas who turn out tomorrow to be Liberia's greatest players. We don't know. So those are the things we have to do. And while doing that, we should be patient. We shouldn't think that we will be able to compete at the level of countries like Senegal, Nigeria, Ghana, Morocco, Egypt, countries that of dollars, put millions of dollars into their sporting program. We cannot do it. Our associations must be able to engage companies, sponsorships that will bring money into the organization, to the organization of a football team or the football program, so that they will be able to train people on, for a number of years and see what comes out of it. But I don't think that presently we have that kind of vision being implemented or being demonstrated by our leadership.
I see. So if Liberians, somebody, God help us, somebody decided they get money, they want to invest, having a football farm up in the interior side, or having some sort of a training camp somewhere in the hinterland, you think that would be helpful to promote and to actually crystallize the young Liberians' ability to play football? Because we do have that. We do have that. I don't believe that those days, let's just take, for example, the late Mike Gisson, who and I used to play right there on GW Gisson. GW Gisson has a basketball court outside of the auditorium. And on that court, usually afternoon or something like that, you guys meet and you play freetown ball where you don't. It's not a matter of shooting ball, kicking. It's the matter of finesse and seeing how much. And the goalpost is the rack they put together. It's a very small space, but you play and Liberian young kids those days were able to play and enjoy themselves and turn out to be good players. So you think if somebody decide to train people back home up in the countryside, not necessarily Monrovia, because I think Monrovia's sporting activities and sporting events strictly for money. And the kinds of stuff we've been reading about the management of those people, here and there with money issues. So I think that's another thing that would defeat it. But my question to you is, if we were to find people to go and have some sort of a football farm or football training camp up in the interior side, you think that would generate a success for the national team?
Yeah, because by doing that, you offer an opportunity. You offer opportunities to people in the rural areas to participate in the national effort. By the time players who have regular contact with players in Monrovia, they will develop the confidence that they too can play on the national stage against foreign teams. But if you just focus on Monrovia alone, you see the problem, not the problem, but in the past we have been successful because around Monrovia, and today that is absent, we have high school football leagues. Okay, that doesn't exist any longer. Okay, we have a lot of teams around town playing, traveling to places like Banga, Lofa, Nimba County. For example, we used to go to Yetepa to play, Nimba County. It is from there that actually I developed as a player. In 1975, before I came up with Bama in 1976. So the exposure of those people in the rural areas to players in Monrovia or Monrovia-based teams will develop their confidence. They will focus on playing football, going to school. And I believe that will make a difference.
I see. Okay, Chief, just hold on 1 minute. Let me just play this again for our audience, which is the music that is heavily associated with Liberian football. And what I did was I put a group of pictures together that I collected from all over you guys' page, from almost Solomon Sipley page, from your page, and other people pages and stuff. And I was able to put that together. But let me play that a little bit. If you can find something to drink, that's fine. Let's listen to this if you can.
DJ House of Pain. Sound kind of special.
Okay, all right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was beautiful. Okay, Moa Musa is with us here this evening, folks. Sam Sinto, LeBron Public Radio. My guest, Nyankwan Benedict Weezer, one of the legend of football business. So, Mr. Weezer, I want to also, before we go on to other subject matter, I want to ask you here publicly, because like I've been behind you, I've seriously, because one time when we had the LeBron Public Radio on internet radio, you and I have over an hour worth of conversation, but I really like to talk to you this time around, having a video picture like this where we will calculate some of your activities and some of the activities of Liberian football when you were playing, because I really, really like to have that conversation. At one time, I even tried to set up with Salomon Sipley and even former players, but it wasn't successful. So I hope that you will allow us sometime to do a video catalog of your own perspective from the football history of Liberia, because like I said, you're a football player, but you got plenty of book in your head. That one that part, that's something to play with. So we'll try to pick your brain a little bit, because I think you have the ability to offer that, and so we will try to come after you. So I hope you will allow us to do that as well. That will be after the program is over. We will try to hone you and bring your phone off the hook until you can give us the privilege to talk to you about football, because there's a lot of things I want to talk about. Just a few of the stuff here that I want to talk about. For example, when you were playing, and I asked you that question before, and every time that I have the opportunity to talk to you, I bring that up, because I too, when I was playing, I used to be one of the best football player in Labrador. I mean, I play everywhere. I don't know where. No, folks, that's seriously. We play against you guys. Wilson High play against Shadow Tower, and we got beat that team maybe by 20 or something to 0. But that's okay. The question that I have for you is, you play for IE, and when you play for IE, but you attend a school that has most of the mighty Barrow players, the spectacular players. Toe, I think, what's his name? Kofi Brood, then another one, Toe, not Samuel Toe, Toe, right?
Yeah, the late Toe, yeah.
Oh, he's dead?
Yeah, the father, more than 20 years now.
Oh, Jesus. Wow. Okay, I didn't know that. But those are players that... Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. But you were at Charlotte Tower with those gentlemen. So how does it work? The fact that you play for IE and normally will go against them, but when a school is playing, you never went to West Helston. Where Helston players, majority of West Helston players were IE based player, and majority of Charlotte Tower player were Barrow based player. Am I correct so far, or I'm missing something?
Yeah, I went to Charlotte Tower not influenced by any consideration for the Barrow players, because of the rivalry between the two teams. I went to Charlotte Tower because I believe it was a good school to attend. The principal, Dr. Theophilus Sampome, his soul rest in peace, was a committed educator who loved football, but as I came to understand, was not one who would sacrifice the reputation of the school because he wanted for the football team to win. So that alone made me to make the decision to go to Charlotte Tower, because he personally asked me to come to the school. When I went to Charlotte Tower, I was not playing for Barrow, I was staying in Barman.
Yes.
Yeah, I was still playing for Barman. So it was not that because of IE or Barrow players, because of Barrow players in Charlotte that I went and no. I made my own decision, and I was there, and then went to Barrow. I went to Barrow not because the players in Charlotte influenced me. I made a personal decision to go to Barrow, and I stayed in Barrow for about 3 to 4 months, having recognized that the condition on which the understanding that I had with Barrow management for me to play for the team, the management failed miserably. So I decided to leave from there and find another team. And it happens to be IE.
Wow.
Yeah, so that
But do you know your exit from Barrow to IE, that it was very, very disturbing to many young folks that follow LeBron football. Because some of us, to be honest with you, even up to this point, whenever I talk to some of the arch supporter of Barrow, strong supporter of Barrow, we felt within us that it was like a traitor. You know, you betrayed us, we thought, because you were so wonderful. That the idea of Barrow beating anything was resting upon your shoulder. As far as we're concerned, Mama Musa playing, nobody gonna beat Barrow. And then when you left, it was like what happened to us? Did that kinds of, even though you most likely might not even feel it, but do you feel sense like that among the communities in Monrovia?
Yeah, I mean, it was not a pretty thing. My departure from Barrow was not something done smoothly.
Wow.
Yes, certain things happened, as I told you.
Right.
I was asked to join Barrow and made promise by the then president, Sam Barrow, that made promise to do certain things for me, but he failed. His failure was not demonstrated with honesty. And what I mean by that is that if you promise somebody something but you cannot, it is better to say to the person that, look, I thought XYZ was going to occur to allow me to do what I promised you, to do for you what I promised you. I won't be able to do it again, because what I thought was going to happen did not happen or will not happen. That would be understood by me.
I see.
But he did not do that. He got me, wondering what was going to happen, and I personally have to take initiative to resolve what I wanted to do. Right. So after that, I just felt that there was no need to be in a team.
But did you consider the dying fan that were really having a running stomach all the way? Some of them have gone running all the way to Granji there. Did you have any kind of sympathy for us those days?
No, not at all, because I did not stay long in Barrow. I stayed in Barrow for 3 to 4 months. So I don't think that anybody at that time would have considered me to be a diehard, even though I liked Barrow at the time. But I was not part of that cornerstone of players.
Okay. Well, we didn't know that. We didn't know that, because all we thought when you came in is like a savior, and so when you left, some of us were devastated, to be honest with you. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Because it was the expectation.
Yes.
It was the expectation. When I went to Barrow, I was considered to be the missing piece.
Yes, exactly. So you see my point.
And that I have not demonstrated to be a good player, as show flashes of being a good player.
Right. Exactly, because some of us watch you play. Well, it wasn't for us, especially if people like me, round town fee, I couldn't even afford the 75 cent or 25 cent to go in the stadium when I was all the way around stadium anyway. Sometimes I found my way climbing the wall anyhow. So that's that. But the fact that when you guys played, the joy that those of us that was young those days, that you guys brought. It's unbelievable. You know, as older the older that I get, I come to realize that you guys, the football players those days, really were like the glue that held Liberians together. To be honest with you, because if it wasn't for that, I think that young people, because there were many young people that graduated from high school or somewhere, but they couldn't find jobs. Nevertheless, they were not troublemaker. They were not in the street like we have nowadays. Because when they say football game is on, everybody gravitate toward Attorney Tubman Stadium. And after the game, you're talking about football, the game that happened on Friday or Saturday or Sunday, and we keep talking about it until the next week or weekend or something. So I think you guys did a wonderful job. But I think you and I need to seriously have a conversation on this, because there are other players that I want you to see if you can contribute to their own way of playing and what have you. So I will come back to that on another day. But right now, let's close on the programs you guys gonna have. When Josiah Johnson was playing, and I'm not too sure whether you watched him play or what have you, but from your own perspective, from the fact that you are a historian, good historian of football, Liberian football, so I know you probably have knowledge of his ability. How good was he?
No, I never saw him play.
Okay, but people who talk to you about his ability, and you yourself have played the ball, how good was he?
Well, from what I have been able to gather, he was a brilliant player, a good midfielder, one who had vision, one who was able to determine the pace of the game, one who was able to, while playing, help his teammates to move into positions where they could receive passes. He was considered to be stylish. There's a story that many people have confirmed to me about his dribbling ability that led to the death of some Liberian football fans when the Lone Star played against Sierra sometimes in I think 1969 or later than that. The football field at Attorney Tubman Stadium. Attorney Tubman Stadium, the goalpost where they had Red Cross, where the Red Cross office was located.
Right.
They said people stood there were watching the football game, and his dribbling style led people to left and right, and then where they were standing, they say he was an excellent player.
I see.
So, but I never saw him play. Whatever his ability was, when he was coach and practicing with us, it was easier to tell that yes, this man was really a superstar football player.
I see. So, and I hate to do this, but this is a radio show, so we throw question out there, and I'm not trying to to rank them together, but put them in a position. People like Agre, you play with Agre. So from that kind of story of a midfielder trying to be the general of the field, and Agre also, who is a tactician and a great general, even though, like I said, I'm not an IE fan, so the fact that Agre can display brilliantly, sometimes it hurts me sometimes because some of his brilliant displays of football tactics, and they affect me because sometimes Barrow get beat by that, and I don't like it. But what when you try to have him, Godfather JJ on one side and Agre on the other side, can you give us some sort of a balanced weight here this afternoon about these two gentlemen?
Well, it would be hard for me to compare them because I didn't see both of them. I didn't see Coach Johnson play. I saw Agre play as a fan. I played with him. Probably we may have played maybe 3 or 4 games together. So because he left Liberia long before I came on the scene.
Right.
So as a younger person, I saw him play. And I think that if Agre was playing today, in the modern football games today, whether in Europe or anywhere in Africa or even here in the United States, he would have been an excellent player because his style of play, which is to control the game, which is to keep the ball until you can actually find a space to score the goal or advance, he would have done better.
It seemed like what you have just described, it seemed to be like Barcelona playing today.
Yes. He would fit perfectly in that system.
So that means he was way ahead of his time then.
Yeah, he was. You know, Agre is not a dribbler. Okay, he is or he was a ball control midfielder.
I see.
Okay, he relied on passes, accurate passes, to control the midfield. He was not a dribbler like Jericho.
Yes.
Or Joshua was.
Right.
Big Liberia dribbler.
And I think Josh, we have style of playing, even though he was a striker, but the fact that he has the ability to dribble effectively made him very potent against anybody, because he's not only able to shoot, but he can maneuver around any defense system that you have because he can dribble, and he doesn't just rush because he can dribble and find a decent position to shoot. So I think that ability for Josh Weah to dribble and move the ball forward, I think is one of the missing style in Liberian football today. Okay, Ben, we will close on this, but I'm begging you. I mean, you can see where I was going with these few questions that I asked. I have other questions about other players because not only was I a grown boy in Montreal, but I follow sport a lot. I play myself, but nowhere come close. I play at Tottenham Stadium 1 or twice, playing for Wilson High. And that one, just so you know why. And I also play Coconut Plantation a lot. I also play. There's a place over there where Barrow used to practice, and I practice there with them.
See, you play on the most famous field in Liberia, in Monrovia.
Coconut Plantation.
Stadium,
Yeah. I play Effie. I play on Effie as well. I play on Effie. Plays the game on Effie as well. But that ended up in a fight, and that I didn't enjoy. They have another field right there. I think it's an oil refinery field right there after Freeport. The Barrow used to go down and practice. I practiced there a little bit, but Yeah, Bomai, exactly, Bomai.
How they call it.
Yeah. So, but anyway, Mr. Wisa, we want to thank you very much for taking time. I know it's Friday afternoon. You guys, especially in the East Coast, are very busy people. So we're gonna take a leave of you here. But is there anything that perhaps you want to talk about that we didn't touch on with respect to the upcoming program that perhaps you think you want to expand on a little bit?
Well, I'm still making my appeal to the Liberian public. We want for our people to come out. We want for them to come out because this man is our own coach, our own Liberian coach. Okay, our coach who made it possible for us to have won an international trophy. Okay, a coach who put everything below his commitment to football. Football came first for him, family came second. Not that he hated his family, but at how committed he was to football. He is 80 years old now. And if one goes by wisdom, nobody knows what will happen, but there is a chance we have for the last time to see him, to talk to him. So I want for our people to come out to this program so that a few years from now, if some of us are still around, we can all say that when the name Josiah Johnson is mentioned, we will say, yes, I was there the night that he was honored. It was my first time seeing him. It was my last time seeing him. He was 80 years old, but his mind was sharp. His voice was strong. He was able to tell us something about Liberian football. Those who he coached them not just as football players, and not just as a coach, but he coached them as his children, and he was a father figure to them. We cannot sit by, and look at people who committed themselves to our sports, to just disappear, and nobody hears about them again. We want to make sure that this will set an example so that Liberians will begin to have conversations among themselves. They have to organize themselves so that we will be able to appreciate those who play sports in our country for our entertainment. Thank you.
Thank you. We say thank you very much. We appreciate it, folks. That's the voice of Armo Wiza, Benedict Wiza, Mama Musa, Nyankon himself, telling us this afternoon. Not only is he a football player, not only is he highly educated, but he's very much involved in the history, narrating the history of Liberian football, and he has written countless of articles on Liberian football. And if something happened, good or bad, to any other former players, Musa will be the first person to write about it, and we appreciate that because he continued to keep us informed of what is happening with his own colleagues and what have you. So I hope that all of you that are listening to this will be at the program. Please turn out and help give a man a flower when he's still alive. And I'm sure, like I stated, Uncle Josiah Johnson, Godfather Josiah Johnson, had made some of your uncles, your fathers, in those days, football was real football. I mean, that's when football was football. Not something to play with. But he brought joy to countless Liberians. And then I can attest to that because not that I saw him play, but when I watched people like Mohamed Musa, Kofi Bruce, Waka Heron, and all the other great players. When I watched that, they also brought joy to us, even though sometimes you don't want IE to win, but you enjoy the performance of these young people at the time. So, please go out there and give your support to this wonderful, wonderful idea. Yeah, Mr. Armo Weasel, you were saying something?
Yeah. I mean, it is $25 to enter.
Okay.
Encourage a friend, encourage a fellow Liberian to come to the program. It would be a wonderful thing. We will be meeting each other, reminiscing, laughing at each other, telling old stories. And questions you wanted to ask a particular player, hopefully the players will be there and you will be able to ask those questions and have a good time. But the important thing is that we Liberians will be showing our appreciation to our own former national coach, a football legend who has coached high schools, college, first division footballers, the national team, for little or nothing. So we want to reward him. We want to thank him very much before he rise into the sunset.
Thank you. I hope you keep my request and at hand, and because I would really, really like to talk to you about those years of your football. I'd like to spend a lot of time with you. Like I said, video Caroline about Liberian football that you know about. And hopefully some of your colleagues will make themselves available as well because we have a system that people can come on the video and get connected with video nowadays. So we'll do our best. But thank you very much, sir. We really, really do appreciate it. And I'll say good night to you and good night to the family as well. Thank you very much. But before you go, let me just throw this out there. This is Sam Sinto, folks. Sam Sinto, Liberian Public. Your son, the other time when he was trying to help me organize, the first time we were supposed to come on, but of course, technically we were not able to. And I asked him because he also does a big time sport person, play basketball, big time basketball. I mean, I'm not talking about round time, I mean big time. But so I asked him a question. They say the fact that your father is an athlete, does that come easy? Or even face me. That thing come like nothing else. I said, wow, like father, like son. He said, I don't struggle. And that's exactly what it is. But I just thought I'd throw that in there. So thank you very much for giving us the opportunity tonight to have a conversation with you. Thank you very much, sir. Good night to you then.
Okay. Good night.
Okay. Again, folks, Sam Sinto, Liberian Public Radio. That was the legend himself, Mama Musa, who was gracious enough to grace our platform here tonight. And like I said, I really, really like to have a conversation with him because I believe, and I'll try to talk to each one of those if I can reach them, each of these former players, because they have a lot to offer. Maybe the young people nowadays, I never saw these wonderful, wonderful players playing. If you do well to listen to them, let them explain to you some of the thinking that goes behind their moves and what have you. Mama Musa dribbled a Chinese man, and the Chinese man fall down. He didn't get out of the ground. I think the man football boost still he dribbled the man fall down. Not only did he fall down, this is true story, folks. He dribbled the man, faced the man, took the ball to the guy, and the Liberian man said juke. He juked the man one or two times. The man thought he got him. He passed the ball on the other side. My mom said, oh, gone. So he tried to turn around to grab or catch, but my mom said, oh, gone. So when he turned, he started crawling on his knee. And the Liberian spectator around the football field, no. The dog, you kill the dog. Oh, mom said, you kill Chinese dog. I remember all of those things, so I think I need to have a conversation with him. But any other thing, we will be back here on Monday. And Monday will be our last show for a while because, like I said, next week we will be heading towards Iowa for the Boston District Convention, and this year I'm going to try to be part of that program because I think it's a worthy cause. Not that I got money to give, I just want to show my face. That's it, simple as that. I went eat their food too. I went eat the food. They said they got plenty of good food over there, so you don't go over there and go eat. That's not small thing. That's not small thing. That's not small thing. The cooking they said they're going to do. Kesawali. Nyamanya, pan butter, waka wa, pepper soup, nyo. Yeah, I want your mayor feel that you want to eat right now. You don't go to Boston District Convention. You'll see how much food you will get. This is Samson told folks on a very serious note. I want to thank all of you. But before I leave, though, when we had this demonstration, July 7th demonstration issue that were coming up, I was on this platform a day or so before the demonstration, and I asked all Liberians, God-fearing Liberians, to pray for Liberia. And I think we all sincerely did. And I believe God answered our prayer. Once again, not that there is any demonstration coming up, but the situation that is happening in Liberia right now is not conducive. We cannot sustain what is happening. It cannot go further. You have to get on our knees and pray. And pray to see reason for these leaders to know that they are leading a country that full of people. We're not animals. We're people. We have feelings. We have needs. And not only because their needs and their family needs has been met and that's it. No. They have to go further than that. So yet, let us all pray for them. Let's pray for them. For God to open their heart and do the honorable thing, the good thing for all of us. These are not slouches. These are educated people. Why are they failing? I don't know. I don't have answer for that. And so, as usual, if I don't have answer for anything, I kneel down and pray. Because the only person that can provide the answer that I don't have is God. It's God. So, what is happening in Liberia right now? A lot of things been going on. We need to pray. We need to pray. We need to seriously pray. You remember where you were during the war? It was prayer. Some of you, God was able to guide you to be to where you are today. These things don't come because you're lucky. Luck has nothing to do with it. These are things that happen. These are things that happen by being blessed. And the only person that can bless you is God. God. So we want blessing for the Republic of Liberia. We can't just have Liberia to say, oh, let the country stay over there. The country cannot stay there. You're here, but your heart is there. Look at us. We just talk about Liberia all day here. The man spent almost an hour with me. Not that he ain't got nothing to do. The man work all day. He come home. He ain't tired. He tired. But he talking about Liberia. Because you're here, but your heart is there. We cannot afford to have any kinds of mix-up in that country. I'm not faulting this person did that and that person did this. Let us just pray. Pray for everyone, good people, bad people, whatever people they are over there in Liberia that are in control. Let's pray for them. God can do wonderful, wonderful things. Oh. God, when you follow, you'll be surprised some of the things God will do for you. If you sincerely ask, God will let you have it. Because one thing for sure, God didn't put you on this earth for you to be left alone. The day he tired leaving, he tired guiding you, he will call you home. But as long as you're here, he will continue to guide you. And if you're lost, ask. Ask for way, and he will help you. If you're lost of words, ask. He will give you wisdom to speak those words. A country like Liberia, it's not a lost country. This is a country for the citizens. This is a country for the love. Sometimes we misapply the love to a different standard and what have you. I'm not questioning that. Things have been happening lately in Liberia. Folks, we got to pray. And it seemed to me also, those of us that are on social media, we have to recalibrate our positions. Because it seemed to me, and I could be wrong, that some of us use this social media to degrade, to foment trouble, to call names, to make false statements, because people are watching you. God is in control. Let us pray for one another and heavily pray to God for Liberia, for the guidance of our leaders. The leaders were not put in there by accident, my people. You can't say that. You can't say that. If it was by accident, why is it that I'm not president today? But these are things, nothing you do. Think about it. There's nothing you do as long as you're alive that has not been ordained by God. Is it not truth? You get up in the morning, the first place you step your foot, God already telling you what you're going to be doing for the rest of the day. Think about it. You're driving on the highway or even going somewhere, and for some reason, red light stop you. You get green light, you go. Just as you hit the highway, there's an accident the same way you're going. What make you think that God was not in control? Why, if you didn't have that red light and you have gone through, you don't think you might have been involved in that accident? Think about it. Think about it. You sleep at night. In the day you wake up. How you think that happened? God. You go to school. Everybody's studying. You study. You go take tests. You pass because you study and you know it. But overall, the fact that God continues to guide you, you will always succeed. And so I want to say this here before I close. Please, we all love Liberia. Most of us that are, not even most, but all of us that are on the social media platform, let us think about what comes out of our mouth about our country. Even if you don't like the government today, but the fact that you bad-mouthing the government today, it affects government tomorrow. Because those who are supposed to invest in the country and put the root down, economic root down, so that the next government that come in will be able to stand on something, they're not going because we're putting our mouth on people by continuing and say we don't like them. Whatever we do today against whatever government that is in power is going to affect the next government, and the next government might even be the one that you like. And if there's nothing, no root, no economic root, where would they stand to help? They can't do it overnight. And this is why we continue to ask all of us to be responsible in our criticism, to be responsible in our engagement with each other, and even those that are opposition. Even if Samson Toll comes online and say ugly thing about government and what have you, what you think and say he know all and say all these things, that does not give you the right to respond with a negative response coming from you. That will not help us. Our brothers and sisters are suffering. people who supposed to go to Liberia to invest into the human capital. They're not doing it because that's money. Money don't grow on trees. These people work hard for it. Some of them have to answer to their stockholders. So if they're coming to invest, doesn't mean give away. You put something there so you can get something in return. If these people feel that their investment will not turn out to get anything back, no benefit coming back, they will not go to you. And Liberia is not the only country in Africa, not the only country in West Africa. You don't pull ourselves together. You don't pull ourselves together. They're not waiting for us. Some of us who's talking now used to be young. 25, 30 years old. Today, some of you are 25, 30. If you don't put it together, you get to a certain age, you're not going to be able to make it. We're just transitioning on this earth. From birth to death, we're just transitioning. Why can't we get together? Can we get along? We're transitioning. If you hate me today, and because of the hatred towards me, that's something that's supposed to be developed for our grandchildren, nothing there. And both of us die. When we die, what happened to the grandchildren? Then it starts all over. These are the kinds of wisdom our folks never had. All they thought of was for themselves. And this is not I eat, you eat business. You eat, you put small aside so that the next generation can get something to eat. You can't just eat and finish the food in the bowl. Your manna coming from the farm tomorrow, that woman gone for 2 weeks. You finish it right in a bowl now. What you will eat tomorrow, my people? You gotta pray. Oh Lord Jesus, we want to ask you again this evening. First, we want to thank you very much for us, to allow us to have the wonderful show this evening. But God, we ask you, what is happening in Liberia? We don't know. We are not the judge of judges. You, my Lord, is the only one that have the key to judging. None of us have the right. None of us have the ability to pass judgment against each other. So please, Jesus, we ask you to guide us. We ask you to open our hearts to love one another. If our brother is going astray, we tell him, or be responsible. Give us the wisdom to be able to be truthful to one another without each other feeling that you're being truthful or being jealous. Only you that have the will to move us forward. The potential in our country, Jesus, you know. And you have not given up on Liberia yet. Far from it. But give wisdom to our leaders to find reason that the potential of Liberia and its people should be forever open. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, folks, Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. Let me now rock you a little bit with some music, please, and I will let you go here this evening. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio.
Bopaya Sava. Onana Ayama, local one is Sigurma, Yapozani, Kripuya Moreu, local Toria Bolu Suku, Suku Ogareo, Amaya, local get that word. Matipi, Enana, when you capora, Ganama, Matipi, Enana, Sonosere, Ganama, Pale Pipina, Inana, Paramaki, Ganama, Payaji Basu, Zakati, Paramuno Basu. Basoko, Zakati, but I'm Muno Basoko. Tumoana, but a Tumoa, or Pota Simo. Tumoana, but I'm what you do, Moa, Moya Boba,
Okay. All right, folks, we're going over there to Iowa. We're going to meet in Iowa. You see the pina here? You see the pina here? The pina, that's something. Onana Ayama, local one is Sigurma, Yapozani, Kripuya Moreu, local Toria Bolu.